Okay, welcome, and it's really a pleasure to be up here at Devils Lake again. And I'm Kalb right here. And I'm based out of Bismarck. And he asked me to talk about vegetable varieties today, and that's because I do a ton of research working with over 1,000 families as the vegetable varieties in their backyard. And, you know, this is I can talk for hours about this. It gave me 30 minutes, so I'm gonna try to maybe a little bit fast. I won't have so many jokes today as I usually do, because I gotta give you a lot of good information. Now, to this information, I want to make sure everybody's got it. I also have two handouts here. One is that's a summary of my slides, the important slides, just in case you want to share that with your spouse tonight or something. And then here's a listing of the vegetable cultivars that are recommended for North Dakota. This is our latest version here. Just updated it. And you'll notice these are the vegetable forming varieties on the back side are where some of the seed sources are. People ask, where do I get these varieties? And so here's a good list of seed sources. So tonight, when you got nothing else to do, you can just go online and you can type in there you want and request a free seed catalog. Great, perfect price. And I don't know about you, but I love seed catalog. It's the best thing about winter. I love seed catalog because I was a little boy. That was a really weird kid. Like my friends all read a comic book before they went to bed, but I had seed catalogs. I was a dream about my great garden coming up with all those pretty pictures and stuff. And that led me to a career working in the vegetable seed industry and doing these research projects. Now, let's talk about some of the best seed catalogs, the seed catalogs that I work from. I'm not here to say this is where you should buy your seeds. I don't want to tell that, or I don't want to say don't buy your seeds here. But people want to know what some of my favorite catalogs are. Here we go. If I could have one seed catalog, I would get the one from Johnny's Selected Seeds. That's in Maine. It's a Northern company. They have an aggressive breeding program that wins a lot of awards. Outstanding consumer service. But the best thing about Johnny's is the catalog, and it's not so pretty. It's not so colorful, but I love what's on the side here. They have some great information on how to care for each vegetable crop. Here's a close-up on it. They'll tell you, they want you to see. They'll tell you how to start the transplant. They'll tell you how far apart to plant them. They'll tell you when to plant them. They'll tell you here's the diseases to look out for. Here's the insects to look out for. Here's how you harvest them. I always keep the Johnny's catalog on my desk all spring and summer. So get this catalog as a great information resource. Another good catalog, especially for commercial growers, is Harris. They're a leader in pumpkins, especially for disease resistance and corn and beans. They've got a great selection. Harris. A lot of people don't know about Jordan seeds. Like for me, I buy seeds by the pound, not by the packet. And Jordan has great varieties at the best price you can find. They're based out of the Twin Cities. That's a good catalog. Osborne is from out west. And what I like especially about Osborne is the quality of the seed. You got good varieties, but they're all wrapped in foil and have the highest quality. So when I get a seed from Osborne, I know it's going to germinate well for me. And organic seeds are very popular. And I work with hundreds of gardeners every year, and most of them are organic. So High Mowing is a relatively new company. They have only organic products, and you have a great price and great quality. High Mowing organic seeds. So those are some of my favorites. So how about you guys? You guys have a favorite that you want to share? Teach me about something here. I love to hear Learn more.
Like Prairie Road, I think it's.
Prairie Road Organic Seed, that's based right here in North Dakota, and we get seed from them too every year. It's organic, and they develop varieties that are made for North Dakota. Prairie Road Organic, where are they from? Fullerton, North Dakota. Here, it's on the back, I'm sure I got it here. Yep. If you request there, it's not one. Any others? Okay. Here's an old seed catalog. We're gonna go, it's from 1912, how about that? That's when you only eat white sweet corn. The yellow for the animals, you would eat the white corn. And this is actually based out of Bismarck, the Oscar Will Company. 100 years ago, one of the biggest seed companies in the United States was right in Bismarck, North Dakota. Amazing. But the reason,
Grow the seed here.
yes, and their special thing was that they worked with Native Americans and they introduced a lot of varieties that were introduced to them from the Native Americans. That's where they really made their success. So the reason why I bring this is one thing about seed catalogs is they're trying to sell you a product so they can stretch the truth a little bit. So I like this one here. I'll get a close up here. Will's early June sweet corn, the earliest on earth. This is North Dakota based company, early June, ready to harvest. So you got to be a little bit cautious on some of these seed catalogs. So that's why we started the North Dakota Home Garden Variety Trial Program. Because we think, what's the best way to find the best variety for a gardener in North Dakota? You shouldn't read a seed catalog. Instead, you should test the varieties in the gardens of North Dakota. And so that's how this list came about. Like I said, I've worked with over 1,000 families in North Dakota, test thousands of varieties, and these are the top performers in our trial. Last year alone, I received data reports from over 400 families in our region, over 400 families just last year alone, telling us where the best varieties. So if you have a question about what works, what doesn't work in North Dakota, this is tried and tested. We're going to just quickly go through now what makes a good variety. It's got to mature early, especially up here when you start getting up north. It's got to ripen in 100 days, otherwise you're in trouble. It's got to taste great. I want it to resist diseases naturally. I don't want to use fungicides if I can avoid it. I want it to be as productive as I can, and I want it to be adapted to North Dakota. Okay? I don't care if it grows well in Georgia, it's meaningless. It's got to work here in North Dakota, one of the harshest places to survive on earth. I live all over the world. Gotta tell you, North Dakota, it's a tough place to live. And I always salute the North Dakota. You guys are, you just don't know how tough it is here. It's like terrible hard. But we're survivors. Okay. All I got time to do in my talk now is to talk about the major vegetables. And we got like an hour to talk after Esther's talk on lawns. And if we have some questions about some minor vegetables, we can talk about it then. Or if you have any other questions, we still have time later. Okay, first of all, beautiful tomatoes. And there are all kinds of tomatoes. There's different colors. There's purple, yellow, green, there's cherry. There's even the fresh market, and there's paste tomatoes. The most popular tomatoes in North Dakota are these. Early Girl is liked for its earliness, and all this is in your handout here. Celebrity maybe is the most popular one here because it's very reliable, it's widely available, and it's good quality. If you like a beefsteak, baked beef is very popular in our state. Mountain Fresh Plus is the most popular tomato grown by commercial growers in the Midwest. It's a nice 8-ounce, perfectly looking fruit, doesn't crack, nice and firm. And then if you like a cherry tomato, Super Sweet 100 is the most popular. It doesn't crack as easily as Sweet 100. Okay, there's a trend now, that's what we're talking about today. There's some trends now in the industry you should know about. One is the breeders are doing a tremendous job bringing disease-resistant genes into tomatoes. So Big Beef was good by itself, but now the last couple of years, they've got Big Beef Plus. There's Celebrity Plus. And these are tomatoes that have more natural disease resistance in them, so they're more reliable to grow. Look for that. And also sometimes they have better interior color. Definitely better disease resistance. Mountain Merit. And I talk about Mountain Fresh Plus. Anything that has the word mountain in it is good for us. It comes from the breeding program from the mountains of North Carolina, and it thrives in cool summers, which is what we have. The Mountain series resists diseases. That's their calling card. That's great for us in North Dakota. This is Mountain Merit. It just came out a couple years ago. It did very well in our trials. It's a good slicer. Another point I want to make here is you see this symbol here. That's the All America Selections Award. Every year when a variety comes out, the year before, they test a bunch of scientists across the country. And there's nothing special about that variety. And it's good overall general quality, but it has some special merit to it. They'll give it the All America Selections Award. So when I see that, that's a good thing. It's not, doesn't mean that's the best thing though. That's what it has some special quality. Like I remember last year, there was a pea that every guy said, Snack Hero pea. There was a snack pea that looked like a bean, and it won the All America Award. And it's supposed to be the best quality. So we tried that last year in trials, and it was a total loser in North Dakota, barely in Germany or North Dakota. But I won an All American Award because it was special. Something special is not great, just special. So just when I see that, it's a good thing, but I'm not necessarily gonna buy it. That's why we do our variety trials. We want to know what's special for North Dakota, not necessarily what's good for America. Our highest rated tomatoes are the orange cherry tomatoes, Sun Gold and Sun Sugar. Has anybody here ever grown Sun Gold or Bill? Maybe, can you guys like it?
Fantastic.
And you're right. And
Delicious.
they're absolutely delicious, and those are our highest rated tomatoes in our trial.
I'm from California, and my brother-in-law commercially grows strawberries in California. But I personally believe that the best flavor is in the dayland up here. Tomatoes and strawberries up here are the best tasting I've ever had in my life. And I'm talking fresh picked. I pick them fresh in California. And here, they seem to taste better here. I don't know why. I'm assuming it's daily.
It sure doesn't hurt to add that extra.
I mean, if you said it doesn't hurt.
Okay, I think she word you said was fresh picked.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. That reminds me, like one of our trials, the parents made a comment that their kids would sneak into the tomato patch, they eat the cherry tomatoes. That's how, but even kids were sneaking in the patch. I don't know if, also I think when I get to California, I often think about shipping varieties. And things that ship well are picked for shipping, not necessarily for flavor. So that could be a component too, like.
No, but I'm saying if you pick them fresh in California, like seascape, for example. Over here.
Sure.
They just seem like they taste better. I don't know. It's just, it's not my notice. Maybe I'm.
You don't learn to go out it's full of sweetness. Okay, here's a new paste tomato came out last year, Granadero. It's a Roma type, and it's a little bit more aggressive vine, a bigger fruit, and it doesn't get blossom end on it bad. The tremendous performer in North Dakota, Granadero. Look for this variety. Okay, you notice I don't talk a lot about heirlooms. There's a reason for that, right? There's a reason why heirlooms are heirlooms. We made progress and moved on. Heirlooms are thin skinned, they crack easily, they're more susceptible to diseases. generally lower productive. So, besides that, they're great, huh? They're not reliable, they're not productive, and they crack easily. But why do people grow them? Because sometimes they have a special flavor to them. So that's okay. I would say if you like the special flavors on the heirloom, that's great. It requires more management skills to manage those diseases. And this, I would say, have some low expectations. You might just get a few tomatoes. They may be the best tomatoes you ever had, and you're just gonna get a few of them. Okay, do lots of bean tests. For how about to tomato? We got a minute. Does anybody have another variety of tomatoes that they would like to share? That's great tomato.
So if we buy the seed, what's the best way to start the seeds?
How do you start the seed? Okay, you start them indoors about 6 weeks before you're gonna plant them outside. Put them indoors, get them warm temps, like high 70s or 80s, and cell packs. Just start them in cell packs. And then at least 6 weeks ahead of time. Get it warm in the beginning and room temperature after that. And I think the key is giving it lots of light so the plants don't get leggy.
What is lots of light? You have grow light when it's supposed to turn on
When does it go off?
for anything.
Plants are like people. They shut down after about 16, 18 hours. So there's no need to do anything more than that. And I think the key is getting it the like quantity down there. More than a grow light. You don't need a grow light to start your tomato plants, but it's better, but you don't need it. You can use a standard LED, standard fluorescent will work too. And what I do is I drop the lights as low as I can. And then I put my hand over the tomato plant. Here's our tomato plant called Black Beauty right here. And so what I do is I drop the lights and I put my hand above the plant. And when my hand gets uncomfortably warm, my tomatoes uncomfortably warm. And so then I'll bring up the lights a little bit. So I want to get as much light as possible for those 16, 18 hours. That's key. Okay. Do you have a variety of tomatoes? Yeah.
I tried one, during the one called Varieties.
Yes.
But it turned out really well. It was kind of deformed like that. This year it did.
That's one of the most famous ones. That's the farmer, they're gonna go bankrupt.
Yeah.
And so, put out one crop, and it's he paid his mortgage off. That's the story right now.
I've tried the chef's choice, you give it as a speed,
Oh, there.
you know, you have the two seeds, you know,
Oh,
for
sure.
the string flame. And it's one that I've had to order seeds for, so that I could grow them every year. They're orange tomatoes, they're nice size and super sweet.
It's a chef's choice. It's a series of tomatoes, and orange is the most famous one. But they have chef's choice pink, red, black, and it's a tomato variety developed for cooking especially. It's basically big beef steak quality. Okay, I'm gonna move ahead. The best bean, the most popular bean in America is Bush Blue Lake 274. It has meaty pods. And it's reliable, it's tender, it does well in North Dakota. In our trials, it does well, but nobody really raves about it. They don't say, wow, that's the best bean I ever had. They do rave about some higher quality beans, like Jade is our most popular one. It's a longer, more slender, dark green bean. That's a top rated bean. I'm gonna move ahead. Sweet corn. What amazing progress the industry has done in sweet corn. When I was a kid, about 100 years ago in Minnesota, where I'm on a farm, every night I would go out to a corn patch and I'd go pick 100 dozen sweet corn and I'd drive it down to Minneapolis to the farmer's market and I would sell that corn the next morning. I only had one morning to sell it, but the next day that corn's all starchy. But now since then, they've developed super sweet types that are 3 times sweeter and hold their sweetness longer. This is a super sweet called American Dream. Now, one thing about when we look for super sweet corn, you gotta find something that can germinate in cool soil. They gotta talk about that in their description. If it germinates in cool soil, that's gonna work for us. Otherwise, you may have a complete crop failure. You generally gotta start super sweet corn later in May, the seed has almost no starch, no energy. It's a shrunken up kernel.
What does clean soil mean?
Cool soils. Mid to late May, it's gotta be in the fifties. The soil's gotta be in the fifties at least. And this is the one, we've had a lot of failures. I've done those trials for 15 years. We had a lot of failures in the beginning using varieties that didn't have good cool soil vigor. And so that's one variety, that's one thing that we use treated seed on. It'll be a treated seed. If you're not against that, whatever, ethically or whatever the word is, that's not a bad thing to get. It's treated seed for the corn. But I'd say in recent years has been less needed because of the improvements in the varieties. The best variety for the earliness is sweetness. This wins our trial every year for early sweet corn. Great taste and great vigor. I'm gonna keep moving now here. The best slicing tomato is General Lee. But what we've learned, like every year I give out a seed catalog. And people, they can choose whatever trial they want. And once they try a birtless cucumber, they'll stop going back to General Lee or other slicers. These birtless types are earlier, they resist more diseases, they're better quality, they have a small seed cavity and thin skin. The top varieties are Summer Dance and then some Japanese varieties. Nokia and Sashimi just came out last year, did great in their trials last year. Just great quality. Everything good about them except they don't pickle well. Unagi came out last year, that also very smooth skin, did well in our trials. Okay. This is the top rated cucumber in North Dakota, Green Light. It's a snacking cucumber, Jeff. I would say when it's young and you eat it as a snack, it's just amazing early and amazing prolific producer of cucumbers. A tremendous performer. Lettuce. For North Dakota, we gotta find lettuce that can take the heat. And butter crunch is at every garden center. It is an heirloom. And the best thing about butter crunch, it can take the heat. It's a solid performer. But the top performers are in a class that are called either crisp head or sometimes called Batavia or summer crisp types. And that includes New York and Nevada. 9 out of 10 growers who grow this will recommend it. It can take the heat amazingly. It can produce all summer long in outdoor seed and have crisp lettuce. And if you like red color, magenta is a great crisp head, tremendous performer in our trials. Okay, thank you. Okay, we're going to talk about melons, and that's another thing I would start indoors ahead of time, especially in Devil's Lake. Athena is the standard for the north. Aphrodite is earlier and has a bigger melon. That's better for us. Goddess is the earliest high quality cantaloupe. Goddess. That's great for the north. The best watermelon is from Curry Road Organic, Sweet Dakota Rose. A big 12, 15-pound melon, round, and has the best flesh you ever ate. Sweet Dakota Rose, a great variety. This
Water.
It's gotta have a water, it's too big for you, huh? Well, that's a good problem, yeah. Okay, a great shelling pea is Lincoln. Lincoln is short, you don't have to trellis it. It's early, it freezes well, and it shells easily. It always wins our trial on shell peas. Only bad thing about shell peas, I think, is they always ripen on the 4th of July. So I always, my whole childhood, I spent every 4th of July shelling peas instead of going to the fireworks. This made me so furious as a kid. So thank God in I was the only person who was mad. They made snap peas. Sugar, these ones don't have to shell, you just eat the whole thing. And sugar and always wins their trials in North Dakota. The peas, the same thing, easy to grow, and what the trial said, it's crunchy and juicy, great taste, sugary. The top rated potato is Purple Viking. Okay, it's got a beautiful purple rose skin and pure white flesh, great for mashing. Purple Viking can take dry conditions and resist scab disease. It's a winner. The Vikings are not winners now this year. They suck. Viking football. Purple Viking is great.
Where do you give them?
You gotta go online. That's another thing I'm gonna say right now. That's the point. It's nice to grow something in your garden that you can't buy at the grocery store. Purple Viking, you just go online and you order early. A lot don't run out of it. A lot of seed companies will run out of Purple Viking. It's available from several sources. We got to wait early. Here's pumpkin. These are two of my little kids. And I wanted them to have a success in growing a garden, so I gave them the easiest to grow pumpkin. And that's neon. Neon, it's so easy to grow, it doesn't really turn orange. It starts orange. So even in summer, you have an orange pumpkin, can't go wrong. And the vines don't take up the whole garden. So if up in the north, if you want a pumpkin that's gonna ripen for sure, neon, tremendous. Okay, now this isn't my kid, but this is a big moose pumpkin. If you like a big pumpkin, big moose is the easiest to grow big, like 50-pound pumpkins. Not those 5 or 100-pound ones. Big moose are easy to grow a big pumpkin. Early giant and large March is a nice barrel shape that's carved well. You make a nice face in that. Okay, last one to talk about is our favorite vegetable, right? Zucchini. And so I just, we always ridicule this poor vegetable, but we should treasure it because it's so productive. And if you want to have success growing zucchini, and actually, this is a historic crop from North Dakota. 100 years ago, we were one of the poorest states in the country, and there was hunger in North Dakota. And the North Dakota Ag Caucus, my God, there's one vegetable that thrives here, and that's summer squash. That's going to save our state. And so they promoted summer squash. And the top, there it is. It's all you can want for free. The best varieties are ones that resist the disease and that keep pumping out until frost. Green Machine and Dungeon. There you go. Well, I want to thank the credits. And again, if anybody wants to join our trials, it's open. You go to our website and find out all about it. And so I think we should just move on to the lawn care, and then if anybody has other questions, that's on these night afterwards. Thank you, everybody.